If you're a music producer and you don't drink coffee, who are you even? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I know I left again, and I'm sorry, but 2024 is here, and we're ready for a big year. So with that, I was just sitting here, and I was getting ready, to do some recording sessions this week, and I just thought, why don't I let you guys know some tips that I do before the band gets here so that the recording session runs nice and smoothly and we can have fun and stay inspired. Let's get into it. And if you're not following me on Instagram, please go over and follow me on Instagram. And also, subscribe to the channel. It helps, and I'm trying to build it up this year. We're trying to move forward this year. So follow me on Instagram for all the updates that I have coming out, and also subscribe to the channel. And we're definitely gonna have some fun this year. Step one, get ready. And what I mean by this is, when the band comes into the studio, there's always that little 20 to 30 minute, session where we, sit down and we get talking and, for lack of a better term, we're bullshitting. But before the band gets there, I like to make sure that I have all my tracks set up. I like to make sure I have all the plugins that I'm going to be using, and every mic, cable, everything is ready to go. So as soon as we're ready to sit down and start recording, I'm not sitting here and I'm not labeling tracks and I'm not getting into this whole thing. And let me show you my tracking template right now. So as you can see, this is my tracking template that I have, and everything is nicely labeled, it's color coded, and I know where everything is at. And I just have a few basic plugins, like on my kicks and snares and toms. I have this awesome plugin, which is Silencer, best gate of all time, and I just have like a preset on it just to get the, just to get a good sound. And pretty much on all the drums, I have this Control Hub plugin, and they're very basic. It's just kick in, kick out, just stuff like that. On my guitars, I'm using the free Amped Roots plugin, which if you don't have this yet, you need it. It's probably the greatest amp sim of all time that's free. I don't know how this is free, but it's free. And look, just basic EQ, just, high cut, low cut, just, keep the session moving. And it's not like it's a fully polished thing. It's just to make it sound good. And just some Andy Sneap C4 on my guitars. Next, we have the Amp Roots plugin again on all the leads and the octaves, and just, again, some basic EQ. And on the vocals, just Howard Benson vocals and a little bit of auto-tune just in case if we need it. If not, I will just sit here and I will just disengage it. And for the clean guitars, I'm using the Spirit Box plugin, which is honestly, this is a really good plugin for cleans, leads, everything. You can record every band with just this plugin. And just some simple plugins on my master bus just to keep everything nice and tight. And that is it. Everything's panned. All the mics are in the right spot, so I'm not sitting here scrolling, trying to make sure, trying to figure out why I'm not getting sound or anything. And everything is ready to go. So yeah, simple to use, and it keeps the band inspired. And does this sound like a radio-ready project when they listen to it? No, but it sounds good enough where it keeps everybody inspired and it keeps the session moving nice and smoothly. I'm not creating tracks, I'm not labeling, color coding, none of that. It's all ready to go. Step two is prepare. And what I mean by this is I like to make sure that all the cables I'm going to be using are working, all the mics that I'm going to be using are working. I also like to do this as well. As you can see, I have a whole bunch of guitars behind me, and they range all the way from standard drop D all the way down to drop A sharp. We're actually working with an Evertune guitar right now that's going to be in there soon. That's going to be for drop G sharp. I don't know, metal keeps getting lower and lower. But, I like to talk to the band and make sure that everything that I have in the studio is working, and I also have a fail safe just in case if anything goes wrong. So I'm talking to a band and all of their music is in drop D. I like to make sure that my guitar is set up, has strings, it works, everything works, so that just in case if anything happens to the guitar player's guitar, we can just pick up this guitar, plug it in, it sounds good, and we can keep the session rolling. It's just something that, it just shows that you actually care, number one, and you actually have a backup just in case if anything happens. Step three, pre-production. I know, it's a daunting task, but it's something that always makes the session run way smoother. Like, for example, I've literally gone to a band's practice space, set up my laptop just like with a little one channel interface, and just put a mic in the middle of the room and just had everybody play. And it just so we can listen to the song back at the studio. We can, we know where all the parts are. We can get the tempo of the song down. And, we know if we need to add something, we know if we need to take something out. It gives us the, roughly the length of the song. It just helps so everybody knows their parts and everybody knows what they're doing when it comes studio time. And if we need to reference the track, we have it right there. The best thing that I always tell bands to do is just, program some drums, record your parts. They don't have to be the, polished and ready, but, it's just something so everybody in the band can listen to and get to know their parts. So when you get to the studio, there's no guessing. Step number 4 is have an idea. And what I mean by that is kind of like going off of the prepare thing is when you get into the studio, if you know that you're working with a rock band, you want to make sure that you pick the right amp sim, or if you pick the right amp, you pick the right mic for the guy's voice or girl's voice. It doesn't matter. And you sit there and you make sure that you have an idea so when the band gets there, you're already prepared and you're ready to go. Kind of plays off of it, I know, but it's just something, know your gear, know what you have, and when you get into the session, just have an idea so that you're not sitting there scrolling through plugins trying to find, the right one for the right tone. Do all that stuff before they get there, and I promise you'll have a better running session. And step number 5 is try everything. When you're in a session and there's a whole bunch of different creative minds going at the same time, you want to try everything. There's a delete button for a reason, and I always tell my clients that. It's because, we live in a very special time where we can just record music into a computer, and if it sucks, we can just get rid of it. There's been plenty of times where my band, A Deadly Endeavor, is just sitting here and we're trying to bounce off of ideas, and, we record all 3 ideas, and most of the time, not most of the time, sometimes, I sit there and I go, my idea actually wasn't the best one, but yours was, and we'll roll with that. And the cool thing about it is we would have never known if we didn't try everything. So, be open-minded, try everything. If there's 5 different ideas, record all 5. You have all the time in the world. Just record all 5 and get the best version of the song and help the band record the best song possible. So those are my 5 tips I like to do before the band gets to the studio, is in the studio, just to keep the session moving nice and smoothly. And, let me know some tips that you guys do down in the comment section. I would love to try new things and try everything and make sure that, I can, try some of these and let me know if they work for you. Also, like I said, don't forget to follow me on Instagram, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We have so many videos coming out and so many videos planned. And with that, I'll see you in the next video.